Yes. Uh, I think I've run out of questions. You have almost addressed all my, let's say, inquisitive questions that I had.
Again, you should have called somebody else, I think.
What is the definition of truth or reality or fact or information? Like,
Facts these days is
facts are straightforward, right? Facts are neutral, right? Truths can be biased.
is clearly I've disappointed you, so I think I should. I probably should. I think.
Welcome, Ranju, again. How do you feel?
Good. New Year.
New year.
Still New Year. I mean, March.
Uh-huh.
So still New Year. New me. I wish I could say, but
I wanted new you actually because the old you I have we had the podcast long time back,
Yes.
perhaps about a year back,
Yes, almost a year back actually.
Yeah.
Almost a year back, if I remember correctly. Yes.
and there I was wanting to bring things out about you winning the award that I got it, and then about the comment you made on Sissy Talks that you can be a very good journalist even without having a professional degree.
Yeah, I wasn't counting myself in it, but that's just I was just listing off names of people who have gained national and international recognition.
You spoke about Arnab Goswami there. You mentioned him.
Yeah, and for whatever it is, for whether you like him or not, he doesn't have a journalism degree. Shekhar Gupta doesn't have a journalism
Yeah,
degree.
Shekhar Gupta. Yeah.
I'm not sure if Rajdeep Sardesai has one, but I'm just saying that generally you just don't need, we're not doctors or professors or, we're not from technical fields. We're not lawyers. Although I think I don't know, law is another thing that I think we as journalists end up having to sort of not have a graduate degree, but a diploma at least, because you're pursuing so many stories and leads. Anyways, that's a different.
But then, okay, let me at least take one offshoot from that.
Yeah, sure.
Would you pursue professional degree any which ways now at this point of time of you having spent around more than a decade in journalism and being an ace whatever you do? So
Professional degree, you mean in the sense
degree from a university
for journalism?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can probably go and teach the students now. I mean, after all these years,
Okay.
I don't think a degree would really enhance my skill set, other than maybe enhance the resume a bit.
Mhm.
But that's not something I am looking to pursue anyways. I mean, I have some academic interests, but I recently actually finished my master's in English from RGU.
Oh, really? In linguistics?
No, just master's. Because I hadn't worked towards a postgraduate degree as well. So I thought, maybe something I should, like I want also, because while coming in, I saw behind, under your name, PhD, So I also want to add the accolades, academic accolades behind my name. So it's a vanity project for me. So
Okay, for us it's a mandatory thing. I mean,
sure,
we cannot
I'm not
escape
taking,
it.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm just kidding. I'm just thinking that now at a later stage in my life, that's something that maybe I want to do. So that's why I've got my, pursued my postgrad, and
Why have you chosen English?
it seems the easiest actually. So that's why. But because I just thought English is something that is, as a language, is close to my heart. I'm not trying to be Angrez ka aulad or something like that, but it's just the way it is. I had my foundational education, my strong suit, I guess, would be English. So I've always had an interest in the language, and not just I'm not just saying it from the point of view of some romantic poetry or Shakespearean language or something. No, it's just from academically as well, like the etymology of things, and
Which word did you?
etymology of like where the
What does that mean? Because English is not my thing. So what is
so etymology is sort of, it denotes in layman's term, I would say, denotes it means the origin of a word or a term, where it comes from. So so I spend hours on on the internet, like looking up things, and like, just because sometimes you hear certain terms and you wonder, like, we use it in language as well in normal conversation, and you wonder like, where did this come from? Like things like, chit chat, hanky panky. Why do we never? Nobody ever says if someone is doing some hanky or someone is doing some panky. It's always hanky panky. It's always a duality to it. No, it's
But are they official, terms? I thought they were just colloquial slang terms.
yeah. So even if colloquial, you do wonder like, where did it come from? Why do we have this word?
You know about
I don't know about hanky panky. At all. Like
the other one that you said. Did you know about it?
but the other meaning of hanky panky?
No. उससे पहले आपने कुछ बोला था. क्या बोला था?
Chit chat. Chit
वो
chat.
कहाँ से आया?
I don't know. Maybe because it's a sheet of paper and you chat with it, so chit chat.
Perhaps it makes meaning.
I don't know, but possibly. That's one. I mean, I'm just assuming. It's just
Ranju, we can have a separate conversation.
on language. Yes.
All together. No. This is something interesting that I just got off. We can discuss about these things. We can, we can educate ourselves first by learning, and to the audience as well. कि chit chat इससे निकला. That would be interesting. I'm interested as well.
Yeah.
Well, coming back to the journalism thing, what inspired you to take on journalism? This was a question I should have asked previously, but now I'm asking.
Okay. I'll be really honest. This interest in journalism actually started back in school. When I was, I would have been in class.
School.
Yeah, school.
It's crazy. Man.
Yeah, 11, 12. See, the thing is, I had the good fortune of studying in the Assam Valley School, and I was along with a few more Arunachalis. We were one of the first few guys to study in AVS, and AVS sort of, because it was, I think, at least for our region, at least for the Northeast, was so far ahead of its time in terms of.
It still is actually.
I mean, it still is maybe, but then in terms of at that time, when we were in school, because it really instilled on us this sense of pursuing what interests you, and even today, I know that I meet parents, Arunachali parents, who have their children in AVS, and they're still like, इतना फीस देता है, इतना खर्चा होता है, क्या साइंस नहीं पढ़ता है, because the mindset is still that you're spending that much money, you should come out with you should have 98% grades, and professional degrees are what you should be pursuing. Technical professional degrees are what you should pursue. But to be really honest, I think with the exception of a very few of us, my own classmates and a few of my juniors and seniors, most people are from our school. They're all into what we wouldn't think of as conventional jobs.
Like,
we have a few filmmakers. We have people in the tourism sector. We have chefs.
oh,
So we have a ton of artists. We have a few writers. Janice Parrott, she's from Shillong. She's a Sahitya Academy winner as well. She was one of those young artists under 35 or something, when she had written a collection of books a few years back. And people like that. But then of course we do have people who are also again in traditional jobs.
Like us.
I mean, there are engineers. It's not like they're not engineers, but then I don't think there are any civil engineers. That's the dream of every Arunachali parent, for their son.
That is the
civil
conditioning
engineer
of
bano, and then then life is good after that, because you know why life is good if you're a civil engineer and you get a government job. But then we do have
as a matter of fact, I was an engineer myself before taking on this project. Not project, as a job as a professor. I was a JE in the power department. Anyways, that's not important. You continue.
JE in the power department.
That is not civil engineering, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, still I was
So,
like that same community.
If you're in PWD though, then you would not have left the job.
Perhaps, I don't know. I wouldn't say anything.
You're pursuing
about
something else now. No, but then like I was saying, we do have people who have we do have a couple of IRS and IS guys as well. Like the West Young Deputy Commissioner Mamu Hage, she was my junior in school.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like a couple of years junior to me. So it's not like we haven't had people pursue traditional careers, but it's just that so from that early part of my life as well, I have that we've had that conditioning and that idea put into us that it's okay to not be a.
Are you giving the credit to your teachers in the school for what you thought was good for you?
I think it's just the general feel of, uh, just the general atmosphere of where we were brought up. That we weren't, necessarily pressured into thinking that there is only one right path.
Pressure comes from the parents, not from the teachers.
Yeah, but then if you have, if you're spending most of the year not with your parents because we were in a boarding school, then you figure
Perhaps
किसका
that-
influence ज़्यादा होता है ना.
Perhaps that's the reason. तो मैं school को आप जो credit
Yeah,
दे
that's
रहा
what
है,
I'm
तो-
saying. Yeah, it's. I mean, no. You're saying specifically like for a teacher. I mean, I can't specifically mention one teacher or two teachers or.
The system.
Yeah, it's just the entire system of it.
It
that just-
influenced you
It
somehow.
did influence me.
Okay.
Unfortunately, though, I couldn't go on to immediately after school go into pursue a college degree in journalism. There's another friend of mine. He went on to do it, but then a couple of others as well. But for me, it was like a more long-winded process. I spent a few years in Delhi, came back, then it happened. So I was very happy that I actually finally got to do what I had wanted to do. Otherwise, I was sitting here and giving bank exams and
How can one? No, one second. Like, let's say if someone wants to be a filmmaker, we do know that you watch movies and you want to create something like that as well. So when you actually thought of becoming a journalist, did you watch news channels and thought that I should be there, giving my input as the news and all? Because I'm not actually getting the idea.
To be honest, TV journalism or the visual.
Yours is print media.
I'm I'm a print journalist.
So it's more
I
about-
write. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, writing. Yeah.
So that was not something that I had ever
So you were reading newspapers.
Yeah, I was reading newspapers, and luckily, like I said, after school, went to study in Delhi, and then worked in Delhi. I was in Delhi for 7 years, so you had access to the Times of India, the Hindus, and the Hindustan Times, and all these papers.
Perhaps those read
So those,
posts.
yeah, and then because you see what a good what good writing is, you see what a good article is. You're exposed to good writing, and you want to, so you also, I mean, maybe it wasn't for me. I don't think it was intentional. Oh, this is how I want to write. But then it's something. Sometimes I think you just you consume it, and then it just stays with you in your subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
That's how. Yeah.
So, does it mean that you can never write a fiction because you are into the facts and all?
Excuse me. No, not at all. I don't think that's ever the case. I think every journalist worth his salt probably thinks of himself as some sort of a great writer and wants to publish a book. And every journalist, I think, especially journalists who have covered crime quite a lot, they probably think that one day they'll come out with a great crime novel because they have seen so many cases, talked to police officers, So that dream is always there. And, some people just pursue different interests. I mean, I write fiction. I write fiction whenever I can, whenever the bug bites me. Yeah.
So I find journalism to be more of of let's say scientific temperamental stuff. I don't necessarily find journalism to be of Shakespearean kind, like artistic and all. Am I making a sense? I mean, and like, do I?
Yeah, no, it's
do
fine.
I
Yeah,
sound stupid?
yeah, no, not at all. That's how it should be. I mean, the thing is, as a journalist, you have the responsibility towards your readers, towards your audience, to not just inform them, not just inform the people, but also inform them in a way that is understandable without racking the brains too much. And if you're trying to be, there is creative non-fiction that you can write.
Creative non-fiction.
Creative non-fiction,
Okay.
like the language can be more. It doesn't have to, like the news report doesn't have to necessarily read like an academic paper.
It cannot be poetic as well.
But it can be something in between.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it can be something in between. So, and a little bit more towards the poetic side, then it becomes creative non-fiction, which is which is fine, as long as the idea is, and most importantly, the facts and information is put across properly, then it's fine. Even with the visual medium, even if it's, you know, when there's a visual story, like a video,
Hmm.
don't you necessarily have a greater appreciation for a documentary that is well shot rather than just, just there's one person is speaking and then there is a scene of chaotic, some scene is happening and there's no comprehension. So if it's beautifully shot, you end up appreciating it.
But well shooting is the art of the production team perhaps, right? What I was saying was like you have to write a story, and can you take inspiration from Shakespeare to write the, let's say, not very pleasant truth?
Yeah, you can. Why not?
क्या बोलेंगे उसको मतलब उसको.
Like you're taking away the seriousness from
Yes,
the.
exactly my point. Yeah.
No, I think the best way to handle serious topics is through comedy. I think
What do you mean, man? I mean,
it's just easier to, then people laugh about it. No, if you call a spade, everyone gets angry. But if you take a joker and you say that this joker can also be a spade, which I think most politicians tend to be in anyways, that anyways. So
जो लोगों का सेंटिमेंट हर्ट हो जाता है ना, तो वो तो बहुत बड़ा चीज़ है. लाइक सपोज somebody is, I won't take that example. Yeah, कुछ conflict हो गया
Yeah.
between two very powerful people, powerful communities or whatever, two ideologies, let's say, and you make a joke out. I mean, you are actually projecting the story, but putting it in a joke like frolic manner. So
like a frivolous manner. Like, I'm not saying that you necessarily have to make a joke out of it. With regards to sensitive issues, as journalists, one of the first thing you should learn, which I don't see a lot of people doing these days, is to handle those issues, those topics in a more sensitive manner. That is, of course, there. That doesn't mean the language can't be creative. The language can't be beautiful.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way. Of course. See, like yesterday, last night, there was a there was a drug peddler from
Just
Assam.
read today.
Yeah, just peddler from Assam was shot while trying to enter here. I mean, that's a topic that I don't think anybody would like to joke about.
I meant that actually, but
Yeah.
I didn't go there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would like to joke about that. So I'm not saying that that every issue can be joked about. I mean, every issue can be joked about, but we don't necessarily do that because that's a professional line that you don't want to cross. But if you're a meme maker, go ahead. Have a field day.
All right. So you started journalism, and then you are stuck to Arunachal and Northeast.
Yeah.
Most of the stories you cover
Yeah.
belong from this region.
Yeah.
Is it because you are somebody from this region, or you would never actually go out?
I wouldn't go out. I mean, maybe if you asked me this question like at the beginning of my career, maybe I would have, if an opportunity had come up, maybe I would have gone. If people have asked me why I haven't gone outside, and I said I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. I mean, like, okay, like realistically speaking, where would I go? Right, India, right? Just
No, why India? You could go anywhere, man. I mean, you can go to Ukraine, you can go to America.
let
and-
the Ukrainians write about Ukraine. We for years in the northeast, in Arunachal, in the northeast, we've had people from Delhi, we've had people from Bombay, Bangalore, Calcutta come and write about us. I don't want these guys to write about us anymore. Yeah, I want to write our stories. Yeah, why should you come and tell me what I should read? Why should somebody in Guwahati or somebody in the Calcutta running the Calcutta edition tell us what we should? I've lived this life. This is my daily reality. So I will have a better perspective. Now the problem is for a lot of media houses, the better perspective, which is the insider perspective, is what they don't want. They want the outsider perspective.
Oh,
Because then it's more sensational. Like for example, the China story, right? We've had senior journalists come. We've had a few meetings here, come up to us, and like when we call them for meetings, and the first thing they ask is like, how far is the Chinese border from here, from Itanagar, from Nahalagan railway station?
okay.
थोड़ा दूर है, it's not here, but they want us because we used to write I've written for publications outside as well, right? I used to write for the Telegraph, Then I've written stories for the Hindu as well, and a few other Mongabe and some of the other publications. And now it's changed a lot. Now it's become a lot better. But earlier it used to be very much this thing like, can you put the China angle from somewhere? I said, dude, ये garbage का problem है. It has nothing to do with China, you know. This river where the people are dumping the garbage, it doesn't even come from the glaciers of China, of Tibet, you know. It's a homegrown problem. It's a homegrown issue. Why do I add, you know? So it's like,
So
I don't know. There was a BBC story a couple of years back, and now I understand BBC wants to put it in a more global context of things about the Orange Festival in Dambok, and I think the headline or something it was under the shadow of the Himalayas, and I'm like, oh God, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, but Nambuk is like बहुत नीचे है यार. China is all the way down there, and the Orange Festival has nothing to do with Indo, with Sino-India relations at all. Yeah, it's just people having fun. यार वहाँ पे rafting कर रहा है, गाना बज रहा है. What is China thing?
I mean,
No, I get it. That that there's a whole power dynamic thing. I get it. कि देखो मतलब this is a land that China claims, but this is the reality of things. I get it. I get that point of view. But to constantly pursue that for us, for as locals, it doesn't interest me. But unfortunately, that's what they want. कि ये China angle डालते रहो, China angle.
maybe that's because they make money through these stories. Is it like that? So
No, I think it's just for see, the thing is, it's how do I say? I mean, for media houses based in other parts of India, that's what the audience is, na.
Okay.
Because we have a very unequal relationship. The Northeast has a very unequal relationship with the rest of the country, where it's like a major shootout incident that, like what happened yesterday, wouldn't make front page of the city edition of Delhi or any other city, but if in some Anand Vihar, now there are Anand Vihars in every city, so I'm just saying Anand Vihar. If in Anand Vihar one mad dog bites two people, it's front page news, and we also get to hear about it.
On TV it comes.
On TV it comes, yeah, but it happens something like like a shootout happens here, you won't get to hear about it. They won't get because to be really honest, the Indian audience is not interested in us. Like, क्या जानना है? I'll tell you an incident. This is what happened. This is a true incident. This is where you get to know where the interests of the people lie. I was at the National Museum in Delhi. I was taking around. And I was looking at all the sections. You have the National Museum, beautiful place. Have you ever been? I don't know. It's a great place. Huh? You have so it's divided by era and geography and different. So it's really nice. So we are roaming around. Obviously, you go into the northeast wing, and these two gentlemen, they've also taken around, and they come to the northeast section, and they're like, यहाँ क्या देखना यार, and then they just leave because कुछ interest ही नहीं है ना, क्या करना है northeast के बारे जान के. So can you blame the media? Can you blame the publishing houses?
Lately, some of our youngsters are putting up themselves in the mainstream showbiz industry. Can that help? Like Tabachak, Chumdarang, Ritoriba, just asking. Can
Yeah. See, as much as I may not personally be a fan of certain kind of music or certain genres of movies or certain kinds of TV shows, that visibility is important. It's because we don't get seen enough by the in the national media is also why there is ignorance about people from the
exactly my point. Like if these people are putting, visibility thing, and then so the journalists might take interest in our state as well. Indirectly they are promoting.
Yeah, but if you're asking me why I don't go and work there, that is detrimental, no? Because if I go and write about the political issue of Bihar, how am I highlighting what's happening in the Northeast? It's just in fact, I am probably creating hurdles for myself because nobody will probably even speak to me.
So okay, taking cue from the discussion we are having, how does reporting in Northeast you think differs from reporting in any part of India?
I can't truly answer that because I've not reported outside the region.
You do have friends out there, and they would share their experience to you. and you know
Yeah,
your
but
experience.
see, the thing is, this is something that I have actually spoken to a few people about, but and this was my takeaway. There's a friend of mine. He's from originally from UP, and now he's based in Guwahati, um, and he's been writing about the Northeast for a while now. I was just so I had brought this up with him, and I asked him, is it uh, is it easier? Is it difficult? In fact, I actually asked him straight away. You can come and from UP or from wherever you can come and you can report. You can ask questions to the people, and people will answer. Do you think I would, if I went to UP, would get the same amount of response from the people? You know,
Mm.
and he was hesitant to say yes because it wouldn't. They'll probably look at me and like most of them would probably laugh, just shoo me away. ये कौन आ गया मतलब, no? Who's this guy? Who are you?
यहाँ
But we have this thing, ये रिपोर्टर आया है.
यहाँ पे
स्पेशली लोकल आदमी आने से तो और भी भगा देता है. बाहर से आया है, बाहर से आया, अच्छा बात करेगा.
यहाँ पे है ना बाहर से वाला कुछ established local channels here.
Yeah.
Our TV, is it original from our state or it's?
I have no idea. Awadh is not in Arunachal from what I know. Awadh I know from the history books and for the biryani, and I'm
Biryani.
sure apparently journalism also is big in Awadh. I don't know why and they chose to come here maybe because I don't know, maybe he has an audience back in the Awadh region for Arunachali news, which is a good thing. I'm sure the person and the channel behind the people behind the channel have no ulterior.
Yeah,
I'm sure they have no ulterior
I'm not
motives.
saying
I'm sure they've come here only for. Excuse me.
Okay. Continue, right?
Yeah.
So when you write a story, how do you make a trade-off between what is your interpretation about the truth, or yeah, like do you just put it there naked as it is, or you do put your mind, your point of view about perhaps the reality that's there for you?
No, there is no reality for me when I'm reporting a story. There is only the reality of the people involved in the story. I don't have any reality. I mean, I may have a stake, but I don't put my point of view or my stake in. I contextualize certain stories where context is required, where you need to give a background of why this issue is an issue, why these two people are fighting, why these two communities are fighting.
But
So
that
I
is-
need to give a context.
That is fine. That is
Yeah.
even that nothing personal there, right?
Yeah, there's
Yes,
context.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Context is
and
also fact.
context. Yeah, context is fact, and this is what this person has to say. This is what this person has to say.
Huh.
That's it. What opinion people want to form, that's not my thing. That's up to the people. I mean, if I have to give my opinion, then I would just simply write an opinion piece, and then make it very clear that it is an opinion piece. It's not a reporting assignment. I'm not basing this on anything factual, but these are just my opinions. So that has its own space, and that's how it should be, I think. I think a lot of people unfortunately mistake opinion pieces for reporting, and they think, oh, I can be a great reporter because I have opinions on so many things. Well, you come to Arunachal, people have everyone can be a journalist in that case because everyone has an opinion about everything. हर कोई तो जर्नलिस्ट ही है फिर.
But that like okay, जो मैं प्रिंट मीडिया का बात नहीं करूँगा, टीवी में जो देखता है, I think most of the news that comes out comes
By
from
TV, you also mean Facebook and YouTube channels, right? Those are-
anything, yeah, or visually whatever comes as a media thing,
Yeah.
it comes across to me as the anchor or whoever is reporting it's how he's putting up his or her interpretation or take on it.
Using the camera as a tool to propagate their own agenda and propaganda, right? That's what you're saying, right?
I'm not saying that. I don't put words in my mouth because I just want to be.
I'm a journalist. That's what I do. I put words in people's mouth, and then I say, "Oh, he said this."
NBT
They said that.
NBT just started. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want any controversy.
उसने ये कहा था.
Can you narrate any, your personal story where you thought you were churned out, you were squeezed, and you thought you would give up on, finding that story or, pursuing that particular story? I mean, the toughest time for
No,
you.
not really. To be really honest, I have been quite fortunate in that way, in terms of my career, from from covering stories, to rising, well, not rising up the ladder, but I've had good opportunities come my way, and I've had the good fortune of not really facing too many issues. Because I think a lot of times I also don't cover a lot of topics. There are certain topics I just have no interest in covering, so I don't.
You don't have a boss who asks you to cover that particular story or whatever.
Yeah, you can. I mean, the thing is, yeah, but then फिर क्या हुआ? Yeah, तो there's no hardly any issues. You just write whatever information you can get at the end of the day. There a lot of times there are issues that you will not find. When it comes to uh, getting statistics and data about financial records, it's not very easy.
Classified.
Not classified actually.
RTI तो
RTI
होता
तो कर सकता है. But the thing is, you become very lethargic. Like छोड़ो यार कौन करेगा? This is the problem. That's the problem with us. We become too सुस्ती and lazy and like क्या करेगा? छोड़ दो. जितना information मिला उसी से news बना लो. So yeah, but maybe that's why I have not faced any challenges, because I've been too lazy to pursue hard-hitting, truths. But like I said, I don't necessarily pursue those kind of stories anyways. My beats are more environment, which is always difficult. Also, environment is always a difficult topic to pursue because on record, government officials will never speak about the ills of or the damage that infrastructure projects have on environment. And they'll try to be very dismissive. Yeah, but you're getting this every time. I was speaking to somebody recently, and every time I was trying to counter something, I said, no, but then this has to be done. This, who cares about that? You're getting roads, you're getting electricity. I'm like, fine. We also need roads. We also need electricity. I get it. I totally get it. But can we find a way to get those things that we require while being environmentally conscious? So those answers are always difficult to get. Writing about environment is always difficult because it's a very emotional subject also. In terms of the damage that infrastructural projects.
Are you actually meaning you're conscious about all this stuff? Like, see, I'm just asking your integrity now. Like, do you do it for the sake of story, or are you actually environmentally really conscious that way?
I mean, see, I can sit here and I can be all on my ivory tower and be all high and mighty and like, yeah, I'm deeply concerned about the environment, and then I'll probably throw a water bottle outside in the garbage, and probably go and buy a packet of chips. So it's very hypocritical of me to say that I care about the environment. That's why I write about the environment and I join activists, write environment groups. But then I go and don't segregate my waste, wet waste, dry waste. I don't do that. So I'm basically being a hypocrite. Like when I say like I want you to care about it as a reader, as a viewer, and I will make you feel guilty by constantly writing about it. But what I do, I will not inform.
Okay.
I hope that semi answers your question.
Kind of, but I really didn't want to put that question. It just came out. Okay.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I really don't want to make my guest uncomfortable.
I'm not uncomfortable at all.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I'm guilt-free now. So, shooting another question. Can I ask you about the economic aspect of journalism? When I say economy, it's like how much money do they make, or is there anything that bothers you? Like maybe people just doing reels making so much money, and we are doing the real stuff, and I don't know. Just
khundas to hota hi, of course. So you'll have that.
Ye question proper hai na?
I'm a human being, yaar. We are all humans. Who's not going to feel that that वो खुंदस किस में नहीं होगा यार कि मतलब you're trying to do a समाज सेवा as you like.
It is समाज सेवा.
I like to think of yourself as a समाज सेवा.
Environment का बात कर रहा है. You are actually poking people who are not dealing with it properly. The right people.
And then you wonder like why doesn't somebody just pay me like 2 lakhs a month, like a pilot salary or something, why are these people who are making fools of themselves on the internet, getting so much in YouTube revenue? Of course, that thing always is there. Yeah. उसको खराब बुरा किसको नहीं लगेगा? But I get my
उसको बुरा लगता है ना, वो give up करता है.
That's unfortunate. I have seen a lot of journalists give up on the way. And
अच्छा, मैं rhetoric दिया था, होता है ऐसा?
Yeah, most of them have joined. Most have joined government service. I don't know now what the situation is now. I think journalists are making money from what I've heard from the cars that they drive. I've noticed. I think journalists are making money now. But earlier, because I was in a scooty for like around 10 years, I think. It took me 10 years to buy a car. क्योंकि अभी वो लोन भी नहीं मिलता ना. I had to get a loan from my wife through her because I asked one bank straight away. He said journalist को नहीं देगा, लोन नहीं देगा. Okay, fine. So now it's a little changing. But when we were there, I know a lot of my juniors also. They've given up on the way. They've joined government service. Because at least the salary is regular, na. Even if it pays less, at least 30 तारीख को तो आ जाता है ना कम से कम.
तो जर्नलिज्म पढ़ के सरकारी नौकरी मिल सकता है क्या? In that
I mean, yeah, the ones where you give exam, there's.
अच्छा, you are talking about any kind of government job.
Yeah.
But journalism में कोई government job नहीं है ना.
अभी तक I think they wanted to introduce for the dipros, for the dipros, I think they wanted to introduce a journalism degree.
Dipro का full form एक बार बताइए तो, just for the unversed. District Information Public
Relations Officer. Yeah.
Perhaps, yeah.
So for dipros they wanted to introduce, but I think the dipro lobby, I think they, a few of my friends, if you're watching, I think they blocked it. I think they said because dipro का काम सिर्फ report बनाना नहीं होता है. There's a lot of administrative work also, which is true, especially if you're in the districts. There is
civil service officer, administration.
Yeah. So why should that be a thing, right? So I mean, they had their argument. So ये try किया था यहाँ पे. I don't know outside the state if there is center में. I'm sure in the center. I mean, if you're a Rajya Sabha or a Lok Sabha reporter, I think I'm sure you need to have a diploma at least. I think. यहाँ तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. There's no this thing.
तो देखिए, आप बोले कि थोड़ा खुन्नस भी होता है क्योंकि पैसा कम आता है और आप अभी गाड़ी.
I get to pay my bills.
तो satisfaction कहाँ से आता है फिर?
That just knowing that you're at least, I mean, at least for me, I can't speak for anybody else. Just the fact that that you've been able to tell a story. I am not here, I'll be really honest, I am not one of those journalists who is like अब सरकार का against करके मतलब पूरा हिला दिया government. That's not my thing, I am just happy telling stories. I'm just happy telling a grandmother's struggles with her finances. कहीं जल जीवन मिशन का the abject failure of certain projects, how they've affected people at an individual level, at a very personal level. So I'm happy telling those stories, and I get my satisfaction from that. I don't know about others, I can't speak for others, but just to tell a good story, just to highlight a certain story, that just gives me satisfaction. That's it.
So do you ever feel the urge to fabricate a story to make it more?
No, but I sometimes get the urge to wish this person answers me in this way so that I can write, but फिर जवाब नहीं मिलता, then you just okay fine, क्या करें.
फिर भी उसको एक टेंडेंसी रहता है कि आपको कोशिश करने के लिए कि वही जवाब निकाल लो तो आपको मिल जाएगा आपका.
हाँ, watch any Facebook news channel, you will see the same thing. वो तो होते रहते, एक ही सवाल तो पूछते रहते हैं बार-बार. आपको नहीं लगता ये होना चाहिए? When people ask, journalists ask that, do you not feel that this should be the case? If that person wanted to say that, he would have said it.
Okay, so बचपन से अभी तक पढ़ रहा है. There are 4 pillars of democracy in India, right? Let's recall it back. मतलब क्या था? First pillar कौन सा होता है? Legislation.
This is a legislative
policy maker, right?
Yeah.
Then it's executive.
Yeah, executive.
All the civil service officers, and the third is judiciary.
Yeah.
ठीक है.
Yeah.
तो ये तीनों को तो मुझे पता है. They are very well respected upper, let's say cream of the society. Whoever works in this domain. Fourth pillar is the journalism. Is it?
Media, yeah.
Media, yeah. So not journalism. Media का एक सबसे journalism. इसमें जो काम करता है उनको वो ना पैसा मिलता है ना ओदा मिलता है. मैं गलत बोल रहा हूँ?
And it's made from Jenga.
जिंगा क्या होता है?
वो जेंगा that game होता है ना, where you have to keep putting tiles ना, एक हटा देता तो पूरा गिर जाता है. So very fragile.
इसमें आपको थोड़ा कमेंट सुनना है. Your intellectual comment or candid comment.
You call somebody else for intellectual comments. और को बुला लेते हैं.
Chill comment, whatever it is. क्योंकि अगर कोई मुझे पूछेगा, let's say tomorrow one of my students ask me कि sir ये आपका क्या opinion है? I have zero opinion because मेरे पास मैं सोचा ही नहीं, तो अभी सोचना चाहूँगा आपसे सुन के. तो आप कुछ बोलिए इस बारे में. फोर्थ पिलर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी, बट थोड़ा सा अलग है बाकी 3 पिलर से.
Yeah, in the sense that we're not tied necessarily to the state machinery as such, but I think I think it's for the other three to function um, properly, in the right manner. The fourth one is the most important
मतलब
because
क्लास मॉनिटर जैसा.
not really class monitor. I mean, I'm not very much for this monitoring wala business, um, because what happens, because if you go to places like where there are sort of dictatorships. We don't really have dictatorships nowadays so much, but in say in the under the Assad regime in Syria and even Chinese democracy, the judiciary is pretty much under the influence of the executive, as is the legislation as well, and that's also because you have a weak fourth pillar. We have a weak media, and because the media is weak, is why dictators are born, dictators are made, because
Medias can only report, right? Medias cannot.
you can hold people accountable. No, that's the thing.
Yeah, of course.
So that accountability, because if the other three pillars, if they are in cahoots with each other, if they're working with each other, then it is the job of the media to report on that, to hold people accountable, and that is, while it is fragile, is also the most important. To carry out the work of the government, that is for the executive, but to carry it out, to make sure that it is carried out well, that it is reported that it is carried out well or not, that is the job of the media, because the executive is not going to report itself as saying, sir, I have done a bad job. You
So,
know.
are you connoting that only the bad reports have to be, put out there? Like, why would?
No, not necessarily. I know that a lot of people think that there's a famous quote. I forget who it was from. That only goes along something like that. Only journalism that is critical of the government is journalism. Reporting that is critical of, and then everything else is PR, is public relations. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with it. But I do think that, yes, to be really honest, when it comes to the government's PR work, like jo acha kar raha hai, the government will do it by itself, no? Especially nowadays, you have all the social media outlets, including YouTube. The government will churn out its propaganda anyways. तो what's left? अगर publicity करना है तो government खुद ही कर लेगा ना.
Correct.
तो criticism तो journalism को करना पड़ेगा ना.
Exactly. तो वो gap तो वही feel कर पाएगा.
हाँ.
Correct.
Yeah. So
It makes sense.
if all the journalists also get on the bandwagon of कि तारीफ करने में लग जाएगा, तो जो बुरा हो रहा है उसको कौन रिपोर्ट करेगा?
बुरा ही नहीं हुआ तो ऐसा तो कभी होगा नहीं ना.
Well, in today's India, I mean, it's like certain people in the government, and not just in today's government, but in past governments, and I'm sure in future governments will also feel that way. कि मतलब हम तो कुछ बुराई नहीं कर रहे हैं. We are doing great work. So why do we need to criticize? There are people in our government also who feel that way. Who some officers who feel like there's nothing wrong to report. That all that they're doing is great work, and that is what only should be highlighted, and that we should not highlight all the bad stuff that's happening.
एक्चुअली मैंने एक लॉन्ग टाइम बैक एक बहुत रैंडम एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखा था, ऐड देखा था. उसमें था कि somebody was shouting at India this that मतलब बुरा बोल रहा था. एंड there was one एक कैरेक्टर था जो बोला कि न्यूज़ सिर्फ बुराई दिखाने में नहीं है, ऐसा कुछ बोला था. इट somehow resonated to me as well, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है लेट्स से कि मैं बुरा कर रहा हूँ तो रिपोर्ट शुड गो टू मी कि मैं बुरा कर रहा हूँ, एंड द पर्सन हु इज द स्टेक होल्डर्स जो भी इन्वॉल्व है इस चीज़ में, विद इन द लूप जो भी है, उनको पता चलना है कि मैं बुरा कर रहा हूँ. पब्लिक को क्यों? क्या होता है कि व्हेन यू पुट दैट थिंग इन द पब्लिक डोमेन तो इट परपेचुएट्स समहाउ, गुड बैड और अगली, एक कॉन्सेप्ट घुस जाता है दिमाग में. लेट्स से अगर पब्लिक को कभी दिखाएगा ही नहीं कि लाल कलर है तो लाल कलर के बारे में कभी सोचेगा भी नहीं. तो एक सेंसरशिप जो बोलते हैं ना, कि अगर हमको सोसाइटी को एक एक प्रॉपर आई डोंट नो हाउ डू आई पुट इट, एक क्या बोले यार नहीं निकल रहा, मतलब ढंग का सोसाइटी बनाना है, तो जो भी इविल्स ऑफ द सोसाइटी है वो चीज़ उन तक उनको कंज्यूम करने देंगे ही नहीं, नाइदर विजुअली और नो प्रिंट का थ्रू व्हाटएवर, तो वैसा ही रह जाएगा वो. इसका एग्जांपल देता हूँ, व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से हियर. लेट्स से बोथ ऑफ अस आर आर्ग्यूइंग, वेरी स्ट्रांगली आर्ग्यूइंग, सामने सामने आ गया. I actually want to hit you. You want to hit me as well. And she says कि Ranju please don't hit Teyi. Do not hit Teyi बोलेगा ना. I won't hear the word don't. Hit वाला word सुनाई देगा and your hand will just go on my cheek. वो चलेगा ही. That's how our mind works. That's how I understand. तो वही जो बुरा को नहीं दिखाना भी तो एक सोसाइटी का ये पॉसिबल सर्विस ही होगा ना. I don't know if I'm making sense.
So she is off camera. So basically, you're saying don't wash your dirty laundry in public, basically.
Somehow I mean that what I like just said. कि
But if you are doing the laundry the for the entire hotel, and not you washing your personal laundry, you're in the housekeeping of a 5-star hotel, and and if people can see that you're washing it in dirty water, in sewage water, and your hotel customers can see, will they not be angry? Do they not have a right to know where your water is being washed? So it's the same thing. People in government, when they're doing work, they're not doing it for their personal gains, no. They're not doing it for वो सड़क जो बना रहे हैं, वो जो ब्रिज बना रहे हैं, या फिर कुछ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर व्हाटएवर, वो अपने पर्सनल यूज़ के लिए तो नहीं बना रहे हैं. दे डूइंग इट फॉर द पब्लिक. सो पब्लिक को नहीं बताऊंगा तो किसको बताऊंगा?
ये अभी जो आपने अभी जो एनालॉजी लिया 5-star होटल का, तो उधर लॉन्ड्री गंदा हो रहा है बोल के, that's actually app for the customers and the potential customers. बट जिसको होटल में कभी जाना ही नहीं, उनको क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है?
बट कैसे मालूम होगा क्या नहीं जाना? आर यू सेइंग दैट certain people should not go to certain hotels?
No.
Everyone will aspire to go to a certain hotel.
No,
Right?
I don't mean that.
Yeah, everyone will aspire.
It
नहीं है?
sounded like that.
Even the Dharvi guy will want to visit Antila one day. No?
Let's say कि जो अंडमान में ट्राइबल्स लोग रहते हैं, उनको होटल के बारे में बता के क्या करेंगे?
तो वहाँ उनको कौन बता रहा है? Anyways, no one is telling them anyways. I mean, the government of India's policies anyways is to not get in touch with them anyways, right? Keep them on
फिर
contact.
bad example. मतलब this is I just took that example. कि ऐसा जो unaffected जो lot होता है, उन तक क्यों पूछना है? मेरा कहने का मतलब ये.
हाँ, but then for the hotel thing again, I'll say. So it's for the clients and possible clients. Now, how will I know who the possible client is?
Everybody is a possible client, right?
Yeah, everyone is a possible client.
Every damn body is a possible
Yeah.
client.
So
That's why it has to be public domain.
It has to be public. I can't call up everyone and like, how will I find the phone numbers to begin with?
Okay, I'm convinced actually. Seriously, I'm convinced. मुझे क्योंकि मैं खुद ऐसा सोचता था कि maybe certain things need not be put on domain. कोई खराब कर रहा है तो कर रहा होगा, जिसको फर्क पड़ता है उनको बताओ, ठीक कराओ, हमें क्या. बट अभी समझ में आया हमें भी है, directly or indirectly.
See, when you're in certain kind of certain line of work, where you are in the public consciousness, in the public space, you have to be open to these things, that these things will happen, that you will get public criticism, there will be public rumors about you, true or false. वो हर चीज़ को अभी मतलब this is between me and this person, या डिपार्टमेंट का इंटरनल मैटर है. But you're there for a position, you're there for a certain role and responsibility, which is to be accountable to the people, to the public. Now that accountability is what journalists must ensure is brought to the table.
Yes. I think I've run out of questions. You have almost addressed all my, let's say, inquisitive questions that I had. Any profound advices or I don't know what to say. मतलब कुछ भी about.
Again, you should have called somebody else, I think, for profound advice. But no, I don't have any. Listen, I'm not one of those people who likes to, end things with this, like, oh, I have listen to me, I am so ज्ञानी and मेरा ये बात सुनो, because I look at myself as somebody who is constantly learning, and that if I think the best advice that you can give to people is by being good examples for
Wow.
people to emulate. Instead of just telling people, if you can be, if you can become what other people aspire to be, I think that is good enough.
Okay, I do remember from our last podcast. Suddenly, I was actually releasing and was trying to recollect where did we stop last time. You said 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, and well, something like that. You remember or you forgot about it?
Yeah, yeah. In the sense that of the
We were talking about the
yeah,
truths.
yeah,
Maybe
the
we can
truth, yeah.
discuss like for a few more minutes. What is the definition of truth or reality or fact or information? Like
No, I think you already covered that. No, you said
no,
you
no,
said
we stopped there. We didn't go there.
the truth is depends on the perception of who's saying it and who's listening to it. Um,
It is subjective. Are you
it is
saying?
subjective. Yeah, I would suggest everyone to go and watch this Japanese movie called Rashomon.
Rashomon.
Yeah, you should just go and watch it.
Available on?
Rashomon should be available on OTTs. I think should be because it's a very old movie. It's a Japanese movie. It's in black and white. It's
Oh,
from
okay, what is it about?
Uh, well, I mean, basically, it's about the perception of truth. Of I can't without giving away too much. There is an incident that happens, and there is a trial. There's a court trial, and the people involved
Mm.
are told to testify,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone gives a different version of what happened. So the incident is just one, but everyone gives the perception from their perspective of what happened,
Can all of them be called as
and they're all different. Yeah, they're all their truths. They're all
They are-
three. They're all their versions of the truth.
but they're not facts. Like I don't know, but playing with the word.
Facts these days is
Facts are straightforward, right? Facts are neutral, right? Truths can be biased. The facts are neutral, right? It's just
facts should be
Ah.
facts should be well, facts should be facts, but we live in an age of misinformation, disinformation. What are the terms they use here these days?
Misinformation, disinformation, and
Fake news.
Fake news.
You know,
sensationalization, like that, whatever. TRP thing.
the thing is, you know, there was this. I wonder if this was a movie or or something. I had seen it somewhere, and oh yeah, actually, this is a movie called Inglorious Bastards, where this German officer he says, you know, rumors are much more interesting because facts are boring, you know, because they're facts, right? But rumors can be true or false, so they're more interesting. So unfortunately, the public also has an appetite for rumors, and that's what you have to dispel as journalists.
Okay. What is Ranju outside of journalism?
Not much. I'm a very shallow person. Yeah, कुछ है नहीं. Just like a regular person. I eat and just a regular boring person and nothing. I wish I could say like, oh, you know what? I had this interesting fact about me. Like, I can really like you know belt out a great heavy metal song on a guitar or something. नहीं है कुछ talent नहीं है. Like very good karaoke singer. I'm a horrible karaoke singer. कुछ है ही नहीं यार. Like कुछ sketch करता हूँ या फिर nothing. Yeah, like you know, I have this interest. I go to gym or something.
Basically, you simply mean that कि if you have to write a story about yourself,
It'll be blank. Or finish in 2 pages, I think. Yeah, 2 पेज में खत्म हो जाएगा. कुछ है ही नहीं यार.
या ये कन्वर्सेशन को मुझे एंड करना है, लेकिन एक्चुअली एंड से पहले मुझे एक्चुअली कुछ भारी भरकम चाहिए था, वो नहीं निकल रहा.
हाँ नहीं. I've gained weight, so भारी भरकम is you've got भारी भरकम, so I don't know how much more भारी. I can come back after 2 weeks. You want? I can gain some more weight and come back also.
Yeah, please, बोल दिया, बढ़िया. I need people like you to be here.
Now I must say I want to just congratulate you on your on the design. I think it's very subtle, but you used the
Yeah.
Nishi motif
Yeah.
on the. And thank you for not going with red and white.
Like last time.
Like any other, you know, Nishi motif is like red and white.
See, the mind behind this was, first of all, I also am a very I won't say environmentally conscious person, but I like greenery, green and all.
Right,
Like
right.
let's say वो forest and all. तो ये इसलिए green है, okay.
Beautiful.
And then I like assertiveness. I like conviction. इसलिए black है वो,
Right,
okay.
right.
I like fairness. इसलिए white है वो. And of course, Nishi.
You're like all the 4 pillars of democracy rolled into one.
I would take that as a compliment. And एक क्वेश्चन आप मुझे पूछ लीजिए ताकि शायद मैं भारी भरकम जवाब दे सकूं क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा
Yes, clearly I have disappointed you, so I think I should. I probably should. I think. Why are you doing this? What do you aim to? What do you intend to gain personally out of it?
like the conversation we had for the last almost 1 hour, I got insights about a journalist's mind. And this is something, I'm an ever curious person, okay? So this is the thing that I want. I want to learn. I want to, fill my database with as many truths about things. And I got to know certain truths about journalism through you. This is my personal benefit. And that's the intent actually. And most of all, see, I'm a father of 2 children. No, I would rather not go to. No. But yeah, I want my children to consume good content.
Yeah.
And so tomorrow, if they are mobile addict, I would want them to watch their daddy speaking or putting out content so that they learn about so many things. If they watch this video, they would definitely understand certain things about journalism as well. So this is my purpose with this NBT thing. And NBT actually stands for my name itself,
Yeah.
Nabam Teyi.
Mm.
In the workplace where I work, I'm being called as NBT sir. But then I do not like. I'm not like you. I'm not a person who likes being highlighted, being prominent. I don't like prominence. But then somehow there has to be some novelty, ownership in what this being done. That's why I put NBT, just being a like what is that called? Abbreviation for nurturing bright tomorrow.
Mm.
Yeah, and thank you for asking me this question, man, because at least I could express myself somehow.
Yeah, it's a noble pursuit. I think it's a very good idea that you've taken on this role. Hopefully, the other mobile addicts can watch this. Even if your children, if they don't watch this, I hope all you other mobile addicts, make sure you watch this, like, subscribe, share, and comment only good things. Not about me, about the host. But yeah, I mean, I was also wondering, like, why did you want to do it? And because you said, and ironically, you say you're not somebody who likes to be in the limelight, but then you're opening a YouTube channel. So it's also like, okay, I don't know where you are.
This is a trade-off. I want good content to come out, and for that, I have to be in the picture.
Mhm.
So this is a
Right.
trade-off. This, like, let's say, I won't say compromise. I'm enjoying it, but yeah, the compromise.
It is a compromise. I mean, you're compromising by calling me as your first guest.
No.
So yeah, it's.
I would want you would be my recurring guest. And next time when we talk, perhaps not only about journalism, we'll be discussing, as I've said, some time back, chit chat, hunky dory, hanky peng. Like there are so many things we can speak about.
Let's. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about journalism. I mean, nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk about journalism. It's so boring.
Okay,
Yeah,
that is what Ranju, like for me as well. I want discussion, not necessarily who that person is, but if that person I find, I'm nobody to judge anyone. I think we can discuss certain things. He or she is welcome. It's for everybody there. If we can discuss.
Yeah, but let's not do etymology because then I have to do my research and like this homework and all that. Like I don't want to do यार chit chat कहाँ से शुरू हुआ.
Like, ठीक है, what etymology?
Etymology, yeah.
Etymology.
I don't want to.
ठीक है, वो chit chat छोड़िए. Journalism का etymology कहाँ से आया?
From journaling, you journal something.
Journaling. Okay. Yeah.
Then you ism.
Yeah. ये
Ism,
भी मुझे नहीं
in
पता.
Arunachal, ism, na? Clanism, tribism, communalism. We are all very familiar with isms.
हमारा काम प्रोफेशनल हमारा काम तो जर्नल पब्लिकेशन ही होता है. साइंटिफिक पेपर्स हम लोग जब पब्लिश करते हैं जर्नल पब्लिकेशन नहीं करते हैं. बट आई हैव नेवर थॉट कि जर्नलिज्म वहाँ से निकला गया है.
So journaling, yeah.
अभी समझ में आ गया.
Don't ask me where journal comes from.
नहीं, अभी जर्नल कहाँ से आता है वो मुझे पता है.
I'll do a quick Google and I'll ChatGPT and I'll tell you where it comes from.
Thank you. It was really nice meeting you after a long, long time. It's so good that I started this, NBT Reloaded with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.